gotta say too much, I'm good. When I roll up, better act the way you fucking should. You should.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This one is actually a module of my upcoming course, and this is going to be talking about crafting the perfect offer, your service offering, how to sell that, and why offers sell a lot easier than services, and how to actually craft what your service is into an offer and sell that for a much higher price. So this is probably going to be one of the most valuable videos I've ever put out on YouTube. And like I said, it's a module of the upcoming course. So this is really good stuff. Should be pretty long and super in depth. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get started. So guys, welcome back to this module. In this video, we're going to be talking about crafting the perfect offer. So here's what we're going to be covering. How to decide which service to build your agency around, why clients want to work with you, creating your offer, and why offers sell better than services. So, first off, we need to pick a service, right? Your entire agency is built around one thing, and that is your service. So, this is your foundation. Your service is what makes your clients or takes your clients to their dream situation. It's what you get paid for, and it's the thing that makes people want to work with you. What service do we sell? In this program, I'm going to teach you guys Facebook ads, lead generation, funnels, copywriting, and touch on different things like web design, etc. So you can offer one of these services or something entirely different. Less is more when you're building your service. So each service you offer is basically like building another business because you need a different onboarding, you have different systems, you have different processes, and probably will need different employees and team members, right? So picking one service is the absolute best thing to do, as well as one niche and one everything else. And we'll get into that later, but go ahead and keep in mind you want to pick one service, and less is more when we think of this. So here's some examples of services that you can offer. You can offer anything from copywriting, Facebook ads, graphic design, funnel building, web design, social media management, content creation, consulting, Google ads, SEO, systems, automations, unique services that are just unique things that you make up. You, again, like I said, you can make up your own. Email marketing. Guys, the list goes on and on and on as far as what you can actually service or what service you can actually offer. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter as long as it just meets a couple of things. So to keep it, before we even get heavy into crafting your offer and everything else, I want you guys to realize that clients want to work with you. This is an example of an employee for a business, right? So they are more expensive. They have a yearly salary, insurance, bonuses, office overhead, and all of this adds up to a lot of money lost by the business. Not to mention, employees usually don't work as well as a specialist. Like I said, we want to be specialists, not generalists. That means we specialize at doing one thing and one thing very, very well, whereas an employee is just there to honestly spend time and just get some tasks done. So who do you think produces better results? An employee paid hourly or an agency paid for results? Obviously the agency, and businesses, at least smart business owners, want to work with the best. Businesses care about one thing. That one thing is money. Who can make them more money? Who can they trust with their money? And who can save them money, as well as time? This is what you look like compared to an employee. So you're less expensive. Your agency will more than likely be less expensive for the business to work with. Couple this with better results, and it's a no-brainer for the business owner. Even if you aren't less expensive, you're probably going to bring them a much higher ROI, which when you weigh the options, it's still much better. Another thing is specialization. As a specialist, you'll produce better results than an employee ever could. This is your advantage. And businesses, again, they care about one thing. That one thing is money. Who can make them money? Who can they trust with their money? Make the choice easy for them, and you'll be able to work with anyone. Guys, this is as simple as it is. And before we go heavy into crafting your offer, the offer equation, and everything else in this video, I just want you to understand and set the mindset that businesses want to work with you, and that will make getting in touch with them and actually selling your offer much easier. So how do we pick a service? I gave you a list of all these different services. So how do you pick one to actually build around? So what do you like? Your service is your entire business in a sense. So it's a good idea to offer something that you enjoy. Do you like web design? Do you like making clients a lot of money with ads? And this isn't a super, like, you have to enjoy it or whatever, right? I've done 100 different things to get to where we are now, which is, if you want to talk about service, not offer, basically funnels and paid traffic and systems, right? So do I have a massive love of systems? I didn't. I've learned to love it and I've learned to enjoy it because I obsessed myself with getting better at it and becoming the best we could. But that's relative when you're picking a service to build around. To be honest, it just depends what kind of person you are. I wanted to make the most money possible. And to do that, I think the best service to offer is like paid traffic, especially with like e-com and get a rev share, right? So again, this is up to you, but just keep it in mind. Does your service match its niche? So does the service you want to offer align with the niche you want to be in? It's hard to sell e-commerce Facebook ads to a client that doesn't even sell online. So again, we've already picked our niche or talked about thinking of our niche before this video. So what you guys need to do is decide if the service that you're thinking about offering aligns with that niche's desires and the outcomes that they're looking for. So like this in this example, you don't want to sell e-com Facebook ads to a client that doesn't even sell online, right? It just doesn't make sense. So keep that in mind when picking your service. So, and another thing to consider is, can you build a team around it? So you want to systemize your business as much as possible. That means building a team to fulfill your service, obviously. So does the service you want to offer have talent that you can outsource work to or build around? So if you pick some very, very like niche down random service, and there's really no talent in the world or in the workplace, whatever you want to call it, to fulfill that service, you're going to have a big problem, right? There's a ton of media buyers. There's a ton of funnel builders. Those are very readily available, and the best rise to the top. So that's kind of the way I approach it. I like having, you could say competition, but if there's a lot of people doing something, it's usually because it's a good thing. So now we get into what is an offer. I absolutely love talking about offers, and I don't think it's something that's touched on enough when people talk about sales, service, offer, niche. All of those all come together to create a good offer. And without an offer, you really can't sell. So what is an offer? Your offer is what you give to the market. It is the thing that makes people want to work with you and it helps them achieve their biggest dreams and desires. An offer is your service plus the desire of the market. And we'll get more into this in a moment. How do we create an offer? We create an offer after learning what the market needs and deciding how we will solve their problems. For example, if a business needs more customers, how can we bring them more? That thing that would bring them more customers, the bridge between where they're at and more customers, is your service. So what's the point of an offer? An offer is essentially a service, but packaged up in a way that makes it more attractive to the customer. Instead of selling Facebook ads, we sell bringing businesses 10 to 15 new customers every month with custom advertising. And that doesn't matter. Like you could say custom advertising, local paid traffic, it doesn't matter. But the desire here is 10 to 15 new customers every month. They don't care how you do it. They just want what your outcome that you're selling is. So this right here, if you can absorb this and understand this, will change the way you sell forever. And it's so stupidly simple and nobody talks about it, which is, it blows my mind. But you guys are going to understand this, and I want you to really, really listen to what I'm about to say. This is the only thing that matters when crafting your service, thinking of your niche, and creating your offer, is A to B. A is the current situation of your prospects. B is their desired situation. So let's say A is an overweight, out of shape person. What is their desired situation? Obviously, they want to be fit, they want to be lean, they want to look good, they want to feel good. Okay, what is the arrow or the bridge between their current situation to their desired situation? That would be a diet program, that may be healthier food, that may be a personal trainer, that may be a gym membership. All these different ways of getting to their desired situation can all be talked about as offers. And that's exactly what you guys are doing here. So, for an example, what is my offer? So the services that we offer are Facebook ads, funnels, webinar funnels, and systems, right? But that's not our offer. We can talk about our service all day, but at the end of the day, prospects don't care about your service. They only care about the outcome. So what is our offer? The offer that I have run with for the last couple of months, and it's worked really, really well, we've hit 6 figures with this offer, is we help entrepreneurs scale info product and e-com businesses with paid traffic and webinar systems. So do you guys see the difference between our offer and something like I run Facebook ads or I build webinars? It's much more attractive. It sells the outcome. And honestly, I mean, obviously it works. So this is an example of an offer. But I know I told you guys don't really talk about the service. You want to talk about the outcome. Sell outcomes and desires, not features. Well, we work with marketers. So I want to speak their language and actually say what the service and the features are. And that's just a unique part of knowing who your niche is. So instead of saying we help entrepreneurs scale to 7 and 8 figures, like that's very vague. Like how do you do so, right? Especially other marketers that know what these things are. Maybe they're just not skilled enough to do it themselves, or maybe they just want to outsource and have it done professionally. So that's where it comes down to knowing your niche and knowing the desires of your people, and just change accordingly. So again, an example of my offer, I have it on my Facebook profile. So obviously, what do? I help entrepreneurs scale and automate education businesses with paid traffic and webinars. So if someone comes to my profile, they see exactly what we do, they see exactly what my offer is, and it's very clear. And again, our case study page, which you guys will be getting this exact funnel yourselves later in this course. This is more of an advanced thing, but again, how we can help, how we help education and info product businesses automate and scale to 6 and 7 figures. So here, I'm not really selling the features because I'm not really like on a platform like Facebook where I'm talking with people. This is where traffic goes to, right? It's a case study funnel. So I want to be selling the outcome and desire to get them into training. So how do you craft your own offer? This is where the good stuff happens, guys. So, like I said, that equation is super, super simple. What is the A to B, and how do you craft your offer? So your offer is the bridge between A and B. But what is your actual offer if we break that down? All your offer needs to be is your service plus the desire of your prospects, and that is what your offer is. So if you were to fill in the blanks here, what would your offer look like? So hopefully you have an idea by now, or if you're still thinking, that's totally fine. But if you have an idea of what service you want to offer, and you have an idea of your niche, what is their desire, and then you just created your offer. So let's say, and I think I have an example here in a moment. Yeah, so we'll hold off on that until we get there. But is it specific? Your offer needs to be specific. It needs to help a select person achieve a select outcome. Instead of helping online businesses, you help stressed out coaches looking to grow with organic messaging. So the more specific, the better. There is such thing as getting too specific, but it's good to create one ideal person in your head, like we did in the last module, your like client avatar, and speak to that person instead of trying to speak to the masses, because it'll just work better. So does your offer solve XYZ, which is the desire of your customers, the pain point, the problem? The single most important part of your offer is, like I said, does it solve the problem that your target is looking for? If yes, that's great. If no, then it's a bad offer and you need to reevaluate and craft again. So, is my target willing to pay X amount for this solution? Once the first 2 questions are answered, you need to find out what the market is willing to pay to have their desire met. So, and just a tip, more like difficult solutions to solve equal higher prices. So someone that has the problem of what is something that would be very, very, very minor. Let's say like a haircut. You can't charge $1,000 for a haircut because it's just a minor thing. Like you get a trim, maybe you get your hair faded up a little bit. It's not a massive life-changing solution. So that's why it's only like $40. But if you go to the dentist and your teeth are messed up really bad, that's going to be thousands of dollars, because that is a very, very big problem to solve. So, and this is just a common theme in business, not just our agency model, but in just the business world, is the bigger the problem you solve, the more you get paid. And that's good to keep in mind. So here's an example. Like I said, this client is a chiropractor. Their desire is to have a predictable stream of new customers. Obviously, they want to make more money. They want more business. So the service that we use to fulfill that is Facebook ads. Local lead gen Facebook ads, lead opt-in forms work really, really well for service-based businesses like chiropractors. So your offer, combining the service and the desire, would be we help chiropractors fill their schedule with booked appointments. Or you can just change it up. It could be something like we help chiropractors fill up their schedules with a steady stream of leads every single month. So these are essentially the same thing. You can word it a bit differently, but the whole point is you're selling the outcome and the desire, not the features of the service. So deciding what service to actually offer. Here's your offer criteria. When you want to think of offering a certain service, I would run it through this criteria and see if it meets these or meets most of these. Again, things can be a bit different depending on the niche. It could be a unique situation, but this is a good rule of thumb to follow. So the checklist. Now we're deciding what to offer clients. We need to ask ourselves a couple of things. Does the service help clients go from point A to point B? This is a must. If it does, great. If it doesn't, like I said, go back and reevaluate. Does the service have a large enough market to be sold effectively? So you don't want to, you don't want to sell a service to people who wear cat sweaters. Like, I know it's a stupid example, but that's such a small market, you won't have a big enough pool of people to sell to. Again, is the service unique? Can it be easily replicated? So this one doesn't matter too much. I like complicated markets or competitive markets because I know we can just destroy everybody else. So if it's a competitive market, there's a reason, and that's the way I look at it. Or maybe you want to go to a blue ocean, which is what's called a wide open market, right? So maybe it's not unique. Maybe you run the same service as a million other people. It's just a matter of where you fit in the market and how you're different. So all of these are important to consider because it will affect the long-term success of your offer. Without actually going through this checklist and thinking about these things, you don't really know how the long-term strategy or outlook of your offer looks, and it's important to consider. So guys, now we're going to be talking about why offers are easier to sell. This probably will be one of the most important sections of this entire course. A short story, I sold when I was selling just to clients. I sold without doing this for about 6 months. And like as you guys know, I hit 6 figures sort of recently, profit from the agency. But the 6 months of that, I did no money. I did $10,000 my first 6 months. But then the last 6 months have been $90,000, $100,000, $120,000 plus. I don't know at what time this will be released. So again, the timeline's different. But my point is, this one change to how I sold our services completely transformed our business. So people buy outcomes, not features. People buy things that help them achieve some sort of outcome or desire. Things like money, happiness, love, freedom, acceptance are all the root cause of all purchases. Your service sells the same way. What does it help people achieve? This is your greatest selling point. So no matter what your service is, I know that, and this is a stereotype, but stereotypes are true in marketing. So normal people, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but people who work a job, they go home, they have a nice house in a suburban neighborhood, they have a family, whatever. They seem like they're more prevalent to these heuristics, right? They want happiness, love, freedom, all this stuff, right? And our world, in the business world, the entrepreneur world, we don't really look at people like that because we're usually the people taking advantage of those desires. But it's completely wrong. We still follow the same thing. Why do you think you're in this course right now? Why do you think you're learning how to build an agency, make a ton of money, and build a legitimate business? It's because you want money, you want happiness, you want love, freedom, and acceptance. So again, don't overlook these when you're thinking of what your service or what your market wants, because no matter how advanced they are, whether they're the president of the United States or they're just a normal person in a neighborhood, they all follow these same heuristics. And this is a very important thing to understand when crafting and selling your offer. So, offers sell outcomes, services sell features. So, like I said, the key to selling well is making sure you focus on the outcome and not the features. If you focus on the outcome, which is the desire, like what do they actually want? What is their biggest problem? What are their deepest, darkest desires? They're going to buy. It's just human nature. But if you focus on the features, nobody cares. People don't care about your service. They only care about what it can do for them. Learn this and you'll never have a problem selling your services. A good example of this is Apple. So Apple still does the tech specs on your MacBook, like how much RAM does it have, memory, storage, whatever. But if you watch their advertising or you look at their commercials or their marketing, Apple does not focus on that in their marketing at all. What do they focus on? Every Apple commercial is a very artistic, creative splash of color or a group of unique people doing something together, and they're showcasing the Apple products and the aesthetic of it and the lifestyle of it, and not focusing on the features. That's the same thing that we need to do with our services and our businesses, because it will absolutely transform the outcome of any sales situation that we get into. So guys, thank you very much for watching this module. We talked about a lot, and I know for a fact if you absorb this, and honestly, go rewatch it, watch it a couple times, take notes. This is one of the most important things that I can teach you. And just quite honestly, this will transform your life and business. So as far as the action step for this week, go ahead and use your client avatar worksheet from the last module and the offer equation to decide your niche, offer, and what services you want to build your agency around. So this is the offer equation worksheet. Go ahead and think of your service, your clients or your prospects' desire, and that is going to be your offer. That's the arrow in between the point A and point B. So guys, thank you very much. I will see you in the next module, and see you guys there.